guys, it's me, Matsimus. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, we're in a little bit of a different setting today. Instead of the standard old man cave, or sort of, I guess, computer room. And we're looking at the beautiful Spitfire here done by Mr. Barry Clark. If you know anything about military artwork, you'll know that this picture is fairly famous. I was very blessed to find this on a really good deal on the swap and buy. But it'll be a perfect kind of background setting for, you know, just changing it up a little bit in terms of scenery in my videos. So I just got back from the gym. I'm not going to lie. I've let myself go really bad, folks. A number of you have been commenting saying, Matsimus, like, dude, you're putting on some weight. I'm not going to lie, I am. I've been having a really tough time in life right now. I've got some, you know, some mental well-being that I need to deal with, and some problems in the background that I'm trying very hard to work with, and I know a lot of you have been supporting me on that, so thank you so much. I really can't thank you enough. You guys really do help out. But you know, one of those things that I think helps with having stress that I'm currently having right now is kind of getting your mind off it and trying to get out of that sort of funk. And I decided to get back to the gym and start getting back into it. You know, I have a gym membership. I've barely even used it. I went to the gym tonight. I actually felt pretty good coming back tonight, and you know, I feel pretty good, so that's a good thing. You know, I'm still a long way from feeling a lot better, but it's a good start, so that's a good thing. But when I got home, I started doing my standard evening routine, especially after the gym, you know, getting some protein, having some water, and just sitting down, relaxing for a little bit. I started scrolling through my subscriptions and seeing what kind of things were coming up on content, and all of a sudden I scrolled across onto a video from one of my good friends, an ex-British Army veteran and fellow member of my previous corps, the Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineers, Zero Foxtrot Vlogs. Now this guy is one of the most genuine guys I've ever met online. He's such a nice guy. He's a fantastic channel. I think he just peaked at 4,000 subscribers. Please go check out his channel, folks. A really nice guy, especially coming from my own beloved core of the REMI. I'm definitely going to give him props. But today's video has a particular, I guess, prerogative behind it. Now, he did release today's video, which I started watching after coming to the gym, in regards to his experiences being bullied in the British Army. Now, I watched this video and it really did, I guess, strike a nerve, because I myself have had and seen experiences of bullying. You know, I've myself have had experiences of bullying being placed upon me, and it's not a good environment to be in at all. You know, and that's applicable to everywhere, folks. I mean, I'm sure many of you are watching this video probably have experienced your own specific situations of bullying in the background, or in your past situations of life, whatever it may be, and it's just a horrible thing to experience. And what I just want to touch on is a couple of key things as to what I place on top of what Zero was saying, and the kind of things that he was kind of expressing. And, you know, he pretty much laid his guts onto the table and said, you know, like, this is my experience, this is what happened to me in the British Army, and I hope it doesn't happen to you. You know, talk to people about it. And most of the stuff that I'm going to talk about really reciprocates that, but mine's more on sort of a moral basis. You know, no one's perfect. I myself am definitely not. I can hold my hand on my heart right now and say that I am not the, you know, the astute soldier of perfection in any way, shape or form. I have my own things that have happened in the past, my own problems, and my own mistakes for sure. But that does not mean that I have ever condoned bullying in any way, shape or form. I myself have tried very hard to prevent bullying and to try and mitigate the risk of bullying ever coming into play. When I was an NCO, I stamped out on it pretty hard. You know, if I ever found people doing it, it's just a toxic environment to be in. It's not something that, especially in a military environment, should ever happen. Now, a couple of things that I really want to touch base on when it comes to bullying in a military, or I guess any kind of armed force in the world. This is anywhere, and it applies for not just the military, but even just a professional work environment when you're in your civilian career, or even friends or family. But in a military mindset, when you have a bully in your platoon, section, company, battalion, whatever it may be, that person is reducing the overall, literally the overall combat effectiveness of that unit or that section or that squad, that fire team, whatever it may be. Because a bully is not creating the integrity and the bonding that should be there with the core ethos of, or esprit de corps of the unit that you're a part of. You know, the key principle of the combat effectiveness of any group is teamwork. It really is, or leadership combined. And if you have a bully that is really kind of making that environment toxic, you're completely defeating the purpose of that brotherhood and sisterhood to mesh together as a team. You're going to reduce the overall effectiveness of that team, and you're not doing anyone any favors. There is no point, there's no benefit in bullying anyone. Look, I understand we don't all get along, and that's inherent. We're not all the same people. We have different views, we have different opinions. But in my personal perspective, I've always been able to maintain some level of professional conduct when it comes to working with others and trying to get along with them, even if I don't agree with the same things. I would never go out of my way to isolate someone, to pick on them, to bully on them, because it's just not the way it should be. It doesn't help anything. You know, there's a thing that gets thrown around a lot, I think, especially in the British military, is a word called banter. Banter is a fantastic means of morale. If you don't know what morale is, it basically means keeping your troops happy, or not happy, but their self-esteem or their overall, I keep wanting to say morale, but their overall, I guess, fighting spirit in some regard, high. And, you know, in the First World War, morale was extremely low. They found all sorts of different ways to try and increase morale, whether it be from, you know, singing instruments, making instruments out of anything. They used to, you know, create art in the middle of a trench. They did anything they could find for morale. And if you have a situation where, you know, you can have fun and have a laugh at something and not at someone's expense, then that's, in the most regard, okay. Now, there's always a very fine line with that, and that's not what I really want to focus on, because it's not my place to say what's the fine line between banter, and I'm going to use that word very, I guess, laissez-faire. Like, it's not something that has a specific meaning, but for me, banter means that if you can kind of have a gentle jab at someone, you know, like, oh, you know, it's hard to say, you know, you fall in the mud or something, and your scope gets mud all over the scope ring, and you know, you put your scope up to your eye or whatever, and you've left a ring of mud or something, and you just leave them with a ring of mud for a little bit until they finally realize, oh yeah, I had some mud on my eye. You know, that's to me a little bit of banter. I wouldn't really classify that really as bullying. It's totally subjective, you know, and that's, my example there is probably absolutely ridiculous. What I'm trying to say is that there's a very fine line between having fun with someone and having a general laugh and just trying to increase morale, and then there's stepping over that line and really just bullying someone. And I myself have experienced many instances where banter isn't banter, and that morale boosting is not what's happening. It's not a situation that should be happening. It's gone way too far. And this video today, the moral of this video is that's what I want to really try and focus in on the most here, because bullying normally is quite obvious. It's normally fairly obvious when you see it happening. You know, you see someone getting in someone's face for no reason. You see them isolating them. You see them putting them in an awkward situation. You see them saying harsh things, horrible things. You know, physical, hopefully never, physical situations that can occur. But I think sometimes there's the hidden forms of bullying that you don't quite see. It's not quite as obvious, and I think banter is one of those things that you need to be extremely careful with. You know, there's situations where what you may think or say is very funny and hilarious, but the next person may not. And in a military mindset, especially in today's military, you really got to think about what you're saying and what it could come across as to someone else. Now, this isn't me preaching to the choir here. I myself have made mistakes, and I put my hand on my heart and say, you know, in the past I have made mistakes. I'm not the perfect soldier, but at the end of the day, I think it's something we all should sit down and look in the mirror at ourselves and say, you know, what I said to that person today, was that really a smart thing to do? Did that person probably feel that was a good thing to say or to have done to them? You know, myself, I have experienced that many, many times where it's like, whoa, like, that was a little savage, that was a little harsh, was that really necessary? And, you know, most of the time I tended to call people out for it. I'm like, dude, like, come on, what was that for? That wasn't really necessary. But there's many times where I didn't. I kind of held it in. It was either a higher ranking soldier or, you know, a good friend of mine who was like, whoa, that was a little out of the ordinary. But it's time, I think, for people to start realizing that banter and that kind of general, oh, I was just kidding, you know, I didn't really mean it. You got to be so careful with that. Like, you can really hit a nerve with some people with the things that you say, and especially when you're in places like operational environments, on exercise where morale is sometimes very low, you're tired, you're cold, you're hungry, whatever it may be, and having someone that's just belittling you or creating your life to be more of a miserable situation, that's not a good place to be. Now look, folks, I want to make this very clear. I am not saying that we all have to love one another and we all have to perfectly get along. That's never going to happen. We're human beings. We're not going to have that same, same mentality as the next person. It's just, that's not what humans are. We're totally different brains, totally different people, totally different mindsets. What you do need to focus on, this is the key point I want to make in this video, other than the sort of banter and being cautious, is there's a professional, I guess, work environment that you have to work with the next person. And as I've said before, I put my hand on my heart and say I've made many mistakes, big mistakes in my life, and I'm working on fixing them and always have. But at the end of the day, when it comes to bullying, that is a no-no. It's just a big no-no. And if you don't agree with someone or you don't have the same mindset as someone, then you should just part side and say, keep it to myself. We're different people, but we can work together. We can work together, and that's what you have to do in a military environment. Is you have to work together. You have to be able to get along and to be able to get the common mission complete, which whatever your mission is, whatever your role is, whatever your trade is, that is your purpose as in the military, is to perform a mission, to perform a goal. And if you are not along with the flow, going with the flow of the rest of the troops, soldiers, airmen, sailors, whatever it may be, that are trying to achieve that mission, and you're preventing someone from doing so by causing that toxic bullying situation, you're just making it difficult on everyone. You think you may be funny, you think you may be making, the rest of the troops laugh, giggle along, but you could be causing some serious problems in the background. Now, a lot of you are probably saying right now, Matsimus, what are you talking about? What happened to like the, having a laugh? And, back in my day, 10, 15, 20 years ago, we laid into soldiers, we had fist fights, we had blah, blah, blah. Times have changed, folks. Times have changed. Get with the program, okay? And there's no point fighting it. There's no point fighting against your old principles, your old, routines, your old way of thinking. Well, there's no point. You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get any further in your career by trying to fulfill your old, old school system. And look, I'm not saying I 100% approve of either the old school system or this new routine of trying to get along together. But what I am saying is that focusing on that professionalism again, trying your best, that even if you've made a mistake and if you've done things wrong, to move forward wholeheartedly to achieve that mission and to work together as a team and to do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, that's what you chose to join the military to do, is to be a part of that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that common ethos that works together. And the integrity of that unit solely survives on your actions and the things that you can do to help prevent bullying, to look after one another and to help one another move forward. Now, again, I don't want to make out like this is me preaching to the choir. I am totally not trying to do that. I want to make it very clear, sorry, my battery's telling me I'm low, that I have made my own problems, my own mistakes in the past, but I'm trying my best to learn from that. And this is what I hope this video will do a little bit for you, is kind of give you that little nudge to say, maybe when I go to work tomorrow, or maybe when I go to wherever I'm going in my military career, or even civilian, whatever you're doing, and just try your best to be, less of the person who could come across as that bully. When you see videos like Zero Foxtrots come out and you hear of the kind of things that he experienced and how much emotion he had and how much power he had and the stress that he had, that kills me inside. Hearing that, like hearing another brother from my own armed force, previous armed force, saying the things that he said and the things that he experienced, kills me to hear it. That's hence why I'm doing this video. I've literally just got up from the couch watching TV to come make this video, because it kills me hearing that, knowing that he got bullied. And I just really hope that something you can take away from this video moving forward can maybe even help you assist someone who's in your military environment or even any environment you're in, and help them not allow that to happen. Bullying is not what you want in any environment, folks. Please, if you see it happening, fix it. Doesn't mean approach them, get in their face, cause a drama, cause situation. It means just talk to who you need to talk to help that situation alleviate itself. I'm not going to go into specifics, but hopefully you'll take something away from this. I know this video is a little bit depressing, a little bit downer, but it's the reality that we live in. And I think, there's a lot of things going on in the military right now that shouldn't be happening. I've just recently watched the video of the British Army RSM kind of lighting up the British Army with the statement saying, this shouldn't be happening, It was very kind of like, whoa, like, wow, that's quite the statement made, but it all makes complete sense. And I just want to make sure that my viewers, because I know a lot of you out there are aspiring to be soldiers, are currently serving soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, whoever you are, Please, guys, please look after one another, prevent bullying. Don't let another Zero Foxtrot vlog video for some other soldier in the future have to happen. Look out for one another, and if you've made mistakes and you have done things that you're not proud of, learn from it and move forward. I myself am trying my best to do that from my past, trying to be that better soldier, trying to be that better person overall. I know, as I said, I know this is a bit of a downer, and I'm sorry. Normally my videos are quite positive, but it's a reality that we live in, and I really want to make a bit of a point here, because when you hear someone from your own corps, my previous corps, now I'm part of the Canadian Artillery, but in my previous corps in the British Army, talking about his experiences and really just laying his guts out onto the table, I thought, you know what, it's really time for me to relate and kind of return the favor and say, Zero, I hear you, brother. I hear you, brother, and I want to kind of share my message to my subscriber base and say, you know what, let's prevent this from happening to anyone else out there in the world, and maybe spread the message to anyone else folks who are watching this, because it means a lot to me to try and get this message out there. So anyway, folks, that's it from today. I'm sorry it's a bit of a downer, but maybe next time we'll have more of a positive image in this new fancy background scene we have here with the Spitfire. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section if you want to talk about anything. If you ever want to talk just on a one-on-one chat about something you've gone through, your own tough times, like I am right now, come to my Discord channel. It is in the description box below. I'm free for a chat. Remember though, I do have my own things going on, so I can't take on tons of extra resources to try and help you out, but I can maybe point you in the right direction. So I'm here to help if you want help. I can only do so much, so I'm going through my own stuff right now, but I really appreciate you stopping by to watch. Please take heed of what I say about the whole bullying thing, and no matter what, have a great day, and I will see you next time. All the best, folks. Bye-bye.